is very much evolved around my clothing and also the social life I have with my husband. I would really miss because he's a great person to throw parties with, go out, meet people together, and I think we're very much a team in a professional way as much as in a social way. Of course, sometimes you think of being single would be great. You have your own space, you can turn on the music real loud, and you just get spaced out in your creativity, in your creations, and you just, keep working all night. And it's something that's very hard to do when you're married and you live with somebody and you have to somehow get used to his schedule. Like, I'd like to get up late, he likes to get up early, he goes to bed early, I'd like to go to bed very late. So those are daily things that are in a way difficult to arrange. And yeah.
View the way men and women relate to each other in America.
I don't really know if there's a different way of relating. I think there's generally a big problem between men relating to women and women relating to men, and I think women relate to men more than men relate to women, and I think it doesn't matter what nationality they are, they seem to be generally, seem to have a problem generally to relate to women. There never seems to be a level of understanding on an emotional level. I think that's the thing I have never reached, not with my first husband who was German and not with my current husband, that there never seems to be that basis of an emotional understanding what I feel, what I would like to, why I'm upset, why I'm enraged. I think it's something men just don't seem to understand, and it's something that's easier in the beginning, and the longer you're married, the longer you're living together with somebody, I think, in my experience, more and more gets to be a problem.
How can men relate better to women?
I think, I don't know. It can be a problem with just genetics, genes that are different, and I think they should just try to understand the emotions of a woman better, what she would like, and I don't mean in a materialistic way, I really mean it in an intellectual way, what a woman feels, what she would like. And I don't really know how you can make a man understand your own emotions. I mean, I'm trying, but I think just talking about it doesn't really do any good.
But aren't there some things that men can do that will help them relate better with women?
I think it's an emotional thing that you can talk a lot of things over, but there's also something that men should just go ahead and do things and see what the reaction of the woman is, and let her be herself more, and try to understand her more.
What can a man do to make a good date, to create an interesting evening for you, for women in general? How should men conduct themselves? How should they conduct an evening?
I think it depends on what type of woman it is and what she prefers. She likes rock music or classical music, or an adventurous evening, I think, is always great. Like, not just going to a good restaurant. I think it should be like something unusual. I mean, he could do something. He could take her somewhere where she certainly hasn't been, and I think the more he knows her in a way or can feel her out, the better it probably will be. And also, I think, just do something unusual. Don't just take her to a restaurant and just don't have sex in mind too, because a woman would feel probably.
What suggestions could you give to men so that they could be better lovers, so they could be better in bed?
It's a difficult question because some men are just very good lovers and others, I don't know, they just don't seem to know what a woman is about or what her body is about. So I think he has to sort of censor out, or just, asking usually isn't so good because you can ruin a very romantic atmosphere if you just ask what you like, what you don't like. So I really never liked those questions, and I think they really ruin sex too. And I think it's something about feeling out what she likes, what she responds to. I think you have to try out. I think every woman is different, like every man is different. I mean, what one man likes, the next one probably doesn't like, so you can't really put up rules. You have to really find out, like a woman has to find out what a man really likes in bed. So she has to do the same thing, and I think he has to do the same thing. And it's better to, just try how her body responds, and that's what a woman does too. I mean,
What do you think are the principal differences between men and women?
there are huge differences, and it's usually men are very much into their profession and and women are very much into emotions, and they don't care so much about their professional lives. They really throw everything overboard. For example, when they meet an interesting man, and they don't care about their job anymore, where a man always cares about his job, and the woman usually is like second. And so that's one big difference, and women don't understand it because they fell for the man, they're all in love, and they don't understand why he now has to do so much work in his job, and why he can take off more time for her. And that's one of the basic differences. Also, the other basic difference, I would say, that men oftentimes are not into children as much as women are. They really don't want children, and maybe sometimes they change once they have them, but I think a lot of men don't want to have children.
If someone wanted to get to know you better, what are some do's and don'ts for him?
That's a hard thing to say. It depends so much of the type and of the energy and of the something chemical, I think, that exists between two people. Now, what they shouldn't do is really, it's very boring when somebody only likes to go to bed with you, for one thing. I mean, it's, I think, the most boring men I've had in my life. And the other thing is, they try to get to know you, and like they ruin your car like one person did, and your dress, and like the whole bill comes over $1,000. I think that's something that wouldn't be really the thing to do. I still have that person as a friend, but I mean, he doesn't quite understand why I'm still mad at him sometimes, and he thinks it's my German thing, but like when they spill Coke in your car and they eat in your car, and it's sort of a messy sort of thing, and you can't really imagine spending the rest of your life with that type of person. Even so, you probably like him a lot, and he has a lot of good characteristics about him, but it's just something that it's too much, I would say. Okay, another man I met in Paris who was very interesting. He was going into the subway, I was leaving the subway, and I turned around, he turned around, and we sort of made jokes, and I would see him, I think we had a beer together, so in a pub, and he was obviously Irish, and he had something very fascinating about the way he was talking, and I would see him a few more times, like once for lunch, and and I knew something about him was really, different, but he was very interesting to talk to. He was very bright, very intellectual, and after a while I figured out he might be a very dangerous person. I really didn't know too much about it. I visited him in an office, and I knew it was a cover-up for something. It wasn't really a school what he was supposed to